Hi there, trailer owners. Today we're going to be taking a look at Optronics replacement taillight assemblies. We're going to be installing the driver's side, which has an additional light, which is a license plate light on the bottom, but you can also pick up the passenger side here at eTrailer. It's going to be exactly the same, just set up mirrored for that side without that license plate light. And this is what our replacement taillight is going to look like when it's installed. This is going to be an upgrade over your existing taillights, as this one is LED, which is going to provide you with brighter lights that draw less current, so it's less draw on your battery and on your truck. And they also last about 50 times longer than your typical incandescent bulbs. This is going to be a 6-function light over here on the driver's side. It's going to provide you with your stop, tail, turn, and side marker lights, and also function as a reflector. The 6th feature is exclusive to the driver's side, and that's going to be our license plate light down here on the bottom to illuminate your license plate. Our passenger side light here is going to have all the same features minus that light on bottom for your license plate. These lights are easy to install. There's only 3 wires to make the light function. This one here is for our driver's side. They are side specific due to the extra feature, so I do recommend you pick up one for the passenger side as well. It's a separate part number. That way you can have matching lights to provide all the signals here at the back of your trailer. We begin our replacement by cutting our wires. So we're just going to grab our wires here. We're going to go ahead and cut both of them. And we'll just set that aside. And then we can remove the screws here on the back. Ours are an 11 millimeter, but yours may vary. And we're going to go ahead and remove the license plate bracket since we're doing our driver's side. Our license plate bracket's held on by the same hardware. We're actually going to be replacing this with a nicer one. Our passenger side is going to be the same way, it just won't have that license plate bracket. And you can see here our last wire was a ground wire that just had run around and connected to one of those studs. So here we can see our wires, and they're all smashed there. It looks like when they were installed, they had gotten smashed from the previous installation, so we're going to try to avoid that so that way we don't have any more issues with our new light like we had with this old one. Now the studs that you see here, we are going to have to reuse those. So you want to pull those out of there. They just slide down the slot. We're going to do this one as well. And we're going to be using those with our new light. Now if you're adding new lights or replacing ones that didn't have the little studs here, these are just carriage bolts. You can get those at your local hardware store. So we're going to go ahead and slide them in. We're going to be using the 2 holes closest to the inside of our light because it's our outer marker light. And they just slide in. They're going to be a little difficult because there's a little tab there that kind of holds it to lock it in place. And then boom, it just clicks in. We're going to do the same thing with this one. Again, you do got to push kind of hard to get it started. And then it just snaps up right into place. Now you're going to notice here that the end of the new light has this pigtail on it. If your old trailer has a matching pigtail, you can just plug those right in and you're good to go. Our trailer doesn't have a matching pigtail, so we're going to be hardwiring ours with just butt connectors. You can get heat shrink butt connectors here at eTrailer. We're going to be using the blue ones as it's going to be the most appropriate size for our wires. So we're just going to cut this pigtail off here. We'll set it aside. We don't need it. And then we can take these 3 wires and we're going to strip them back. We can now install our new light. I'm going to take the wiring first and I'm going to pass it through the hole in the side of the frame so that way it goes out to meet the wires on the other side that we need to connect it to. And then if we look, there's little notches here at the top and both on the side. We want to make sure our wiring's in that notch so it's not pinched like our old one was. And we're then just going to line up the studs with the slots. We can then install our new license plate bracket. And if you need a new license plate bracket, you can pick one up here at eTrailer. And then we'll just reinstall the nuts back onto our studs. We'll then just retighten them down. Now we can start hooking up our wires. So we have our white, our brown, and our yellow. And previously our white was attached to the stud on the back, but with these all being inside this duplex, this sheathing here, the white wire, we'd have to cut all the sheathing off in order to put it over here. So we're just going to run a new ground just with a self-tapper directly to the frame. We're going to strip each one of those back now. Now that we've got all the wires stripped, we're just going to start hooking them up, and we're going to match them up color for color, because yellow's our left turn. So we're going to match that with the left turn on our trailer. Brown is our tail light, so we're going to match that with the tail light on our trailer, which is also brown. And that's your typical colors that you're going to find. We're going to be using heat shrink butt connectors to make these connections. So we're just going to slide it on one end, crimp it down. Now we got that side crimped on. We'll grab the yellow wire from our new light, slide it into the other side, and then crimp this one. We'll then use our heat gun to shrink down our butt connectors. Now on our white wire, this is our ground wire, so we're going to slide on a ring terminal. You can also get those here at eTrailer if you need one. And then we're just going to be running this right into the frame of the trailer, just right down here. I'm just going to use a self-tapping screw and run it right in. You can get self-tapping screws also here at eTrailer. You just want to make sure it's nice and snug, so we're going to go a little more. You don't want to break the head off the screw though. So just kind of check. And if you're replacing the other side, you do want to keep in mind that this one is a different part number because it's specific for this side. Hooking it up is going to be exactly the same, except for it's going to be a green wire instead of a yellow wire, because green is the trailer standard for passenger turn or right turn. Gone ahead and hooked up the test box, and we want to make sure that our lights work. Here's our tail lights, and we can see that all the lightings are functioning properly on our tail lights. Then we'll turn on our turn signal. We can see it blinking here, everything's good. And brake lights, we can also see that that's all working properly. And that completes our look at Optronics replacement taillight assemblies.